process of evolving. A storm that has already dropped the snowfall amount you see here up to 15 inches around College Park, Pennsylvania, home of State College, Pennsylvania. Sorry, Mike Seidel. Home of Penn State, of course, and the snow is particularly heavy in Garrett County, Maryland, into West Virginia. Well, that snow is now moving into upstate New York. The air is still cold across New England. It's above freezing Boston, New York City, where it's been raining. This storm is not over yet, and we have some further problems as that storm heads on towards New England. Already, storm warnings are in effect. The time of astronomical high tide will have some serious coastal flooding in some areas. 17 inches of snow, that's what's on the ground for new snow in Arthur, West Virginia, Bowling Green, Maryland, out there in Garrett County, 17 inches. Pittsburgh, a solid 6 with the snow still falling at least lightly. Here's the center of the low pressure area. We show it very close to Baltimore right now, the warm air on the east side, the cold high to the north. And as this storm continues to evolve, we're noticing on radar quite an area of heavy rain just offshore, and that will wrap towards the north and towards the northwest. Now, we are getting late computer forecasts indicating that this massive precipitation will make it into the Boston area. At Worcester, Massachusetts right now, the temperature is below freezing. The dew point temperature is dry, and so what we get evaporational cooling mixing in here with that precipitation beginning hills of Worcester County, the Berkshires, the Litchfield Hills of Connecticut, into the perhaps upper Hudson River Valley, where it's been snowing, in northeast Pennsylvania, back towards Williamsport. A change back to all snow seems pretty likely later on tonight. Watch out in those areas. You could have a very large amount of snow tomorrow and tomorrow evening. Here's your coastal flood warning from Watch Hill, Rhode Island to New York City to all the way to the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay into the Virginia Beach area. And there's the broad view showing that storm in the east, the high to the north, which, by the way, will tend to build back over time towards Hudson Bay. Your high to the southwest, and this storm in the west. What else is new is the progression of storms continuing. And there's your snowfall history for the high Sierra Nevada, upwards of a foot or greater, Cascades, and to the east of Portland and Seattle. The snow is heavy as well. Rain overnight for the Bay Area into Southern California. Let's take a look at that important satellite sequence now as we show the precipitation in the west and this very, very strong storm evolving and driving on towards the east over time. Certainly a very serious storm for coastal residents from Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City. We're talking about rain now falling, and it is even conceivable as that storm continues to move on towards the east that there could be a brief change back to snow before ending in New York. But the primary area of concern is Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. I believe we have an updated snowfall frame we're going to be able to show you here. Look at this in West Virginia, Piney Dam, West Virginia, coming in with a jackpot right now. 27 inches of snowfall. That occurring today and this evening, the 10 o'clock official report. Petersburg, West Virginia, a solid 20. So we can say this is for some of those small communities up in West Virginia, a crippling snowstorm at this time. Will those snowfall amounts be matched farther towards the northeast? That is yet to play out, and certainly something we're very concerned about as the storm moves off towards the north and east. Witness some of these scenes that were occurring earlier today, those big wet snowflakes, even in North Carolina, where the high Blue Ridge Parkway had some snowfall, causing some traffic accidents in that area. They were out there plowing the snow. That was the southern extent of the snowstorm, the northern extent about to work into the New England states. A very serious storm. Here's your coastal flood warning. Watch and warning out for the Virginia Beach area. I'll tell you what, let's take a look at how we think this storm will move over the next 12 to 24, even 48 hours. The center of the low near Chesapeake Bay Friday morning. The occlusion wrapping around from the east, the high beginning to retreat back towards Hudson's Bay. And that cold air may, as that low moves southeast of Cape Cod, be drawn down into New England. The rain-snow line is going to be very critical here. We could be talking Route 128 down perhaps to about Hartford, Connecticut, into the Litchfield Hills, Berkshires, eastern New York State. Watch out Albany, Williamsport, more accumulating snow. We change that snow over to rain. New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, 2 to 4 inches of rainfall overnight. Change that over to snow, and we're talking about a foot plus in this area, and then beginning to nose on towards southern New England. Watch it carefully. Join us frequently here on the Coast Monster. And it is indeed a major storm that continues to deepen near the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay. On the west side, that's where the cold air is found, and the snowfall amounts continue to pile up. It's incredible. A place called Piney Dam, West Virginia, right about here, 27 inches of snow so far, and the snow continues to fall. The mountains of Pennsylvania, snowfall amounts in excess of a foot right now. They're getting a little bit of a shadow effect, perhaps in the Pittsburgh area, as the air comes down slope with the moisture, dries out a little bit. And so Pittsburgh so far has picked up about 7 inches of snowfall. Our next big area of concern, Well, it's the New England states. We've got these warm waters out here in the Atlantic, of course, and with the wind component off the mild Atlantic, it has been raining for New York, for Philadelphia, and Baltimore. There are coastal storm warnings or flood warnings in effect right now, and storm force winds can be expected at the time of high tide, bringing in perhaps some serious coastal flooding for all of these locations. Then we talk about the cold air. Icy high to the north, this low pressure area here, and as this tremendous area of rain showers with big thunderstorms embedded moves into that Arctic air, we are concerned about that perhaps the hills of Connecticut, the Worcester Hills of Massachusetts, southwest New Hampshire into Manchester, Concord, and some point between Boston and Manchester, perhaps into the Middlesex County area of Massachusetts. That's where your rain snow will be, and that could separate a big amount of snowfall from rain along the immediate coast. Hartford, Connecticut, late computer forecast talking about rain, maybe a change over to snow towards the tail end of the storm. We'll watch how this system evolves for you. Your coastal flood warning in this area.